I wanted to follow up my D5500 versus T6s video by sharing which one of these two cameras I would pick and why. But again, I want to reiterate that both of these DSLRs are really good and you shouldn't spend time agonizing over the choice. Get one and get out shooting. Personally for me though, I would pick the Canon. Yes, the Nikon offers better battery life, better image quality, especially at the higher ISOs, but if I'm choosing a DSLR, I'm not doing it based solely on image quality. I also want a camera that provides a good manual experience and a pleasant live view experience, and the Canon T6s provides both of those very nicely. I personally find the live view experience of the Nikon D5500 to be a little less than pleasant. Let me show you what I mean. When using the Canon, you flip live view on and by default you're greeted with a simulated view of your exposure. If I snap a photo right now, this is roughly the exposure I'm going to get. Change of value in the live view changes, providing instant and real feedback. I find this very helpful for beginners and even appreciated as a non-beginner as a very in-your-face, here's what you're going to get if you take a picture. On the Nikon side, the default view is a standard brightness level. Changing your settings does not change the brightness of the display. You need to rely on the exposure indicator. Now, honestly, this isn't that big a deal, but for me, clearly it is enough of a factor to push me toward the Canon. You can turn on manual movie mode on the Nikon, and now you do get exposure simulation, but you've introduced other issues. Your slowest shutter speed is limited to 1/30th of a second, and you can no longer change your aperture if you're in full manual mode. You also get a much better live view focusing system on the Canon. Not only smooth and silent as I showed in my review video, but it also works much better in low light. These live view performances may mean nothing to you. Some people shoot without live view, and for most wedding photography and professional work I do, I shoot without live view. But for general photography and travel, if I have an articulated screen, I am going to use live view often enough that I really appreciate the simple, straightforward approach from the Canon. Another reason I would pick the Canon is they offer a solid selection of affordable and small prime lenses. I'm a big fan of prime lenses. You can watch my reasons why at the end of this video. But you have the 24, 40, the 50-1.8. Those are all STM lenses, so they all work quite quietly with this technology, and they're all sold for less than $150. This gives you some nice options. In Nikon's defense, they have a 35mm f1.8 that I really like on a crop sensor. And you can find tons of older, cheaper lenses that will work on the D5500, but they will be manual focus only. That's all. That's just a short video sharing my personal pick between these two cameras, and as some of you mentioned in the last video, maybe a better comparison would not be the T6s and the D5500, but as rather the T6i and the D5500, but between those two, I do still pick the Canon. It's a closer race, but again, I think anybody moving up to a DSLR should be doing so for the better manual control, which for me makes the T6s worth the extra money. Otherwise, you're probably better off grabbing a small mirrorless that offers just as good, if not better image quality with some manual control sacrifices. But the Nikon does offer a selection of lenses, and that is a strength over many of the mirrorless options. Well, I want to know from you all, what are the top features you look for when camera shopping? Image quality, ISO performance, user friendliness, additional features, lens selection, battery life, or is it something else? List your top 3 in order of importance right down below in the comments. And if you appreciated this video, take 2 seconds to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, take a moment to hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified of future videos, tips, tricks, and opinions. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.